Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a quick update. This might be the first one where I attempt to brand it as the Doom Count, I'm not sure. Now, for those of you who watched the last update, you'll know that I've changed job, with the idea of having greater foreknowledge of when I'll be working. 2 weeks notice was what I was promised. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I got my shifts for next week, which is starting Monday. I'm recording this on the Sunday, by the way. So what should be 2 weeks notice has become a day's notice. So this is why there hasn't really been any streams, because I haven't known when I can do it. There's also the other thing, which at least until I get a certain way through their stupid induction things, which apparently is time related and not skill related. Yes, no matter how quick you can do the things which they need you to do to prove that they can move you on to the next step, it doesn't matter because a certain amount of time has to pass anyway. Makes it like as the last who was doing the induction with, the one who was already trained up and stuff. She's like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, well this induction, this first 2 weeks, it's actually got a reasonable amount of content, and I can see why it takes 2 weeks. And then she shows me the tick-off sheet, and there's lots of stuff which is for like the 12-week the 12-week sign-off, which I've already done. Yeah, so apparently she was giving me things to do, thinking, oh, that'll do him for the day, and then I'd do it. And she'd give me something else, like that should keep him, and then I'd just do it. So yeah. Actually, yeah, it could be up to 12 freaking weeks before this job starts paying out in the shift patterns, because the shifts that I'll be having until then are most likely going to be, instead of like say if they had a 9 to 5, then I could come home from a 9 to 5 shift and start stream at 6 for me, which at the minute, because I'm British Summer Time, would be 5 GMT. So actually probably stop working in the winter. But anyway, there would be time, basically, to get the 4-hour stream in. But it looks like the majority of my shifts are going to be like 11 to 6, which, if you noticed, isn't even a full day to start with. But once I get through the other thing, then my shift should be either, like, say, 8 till 4 or 2 till 10. And with either of them, it either gives me a good chunk in the morning to record for normal stuff, or a good chunk at night, which we'll be able to do streams. And now, with mentioning streams, there's another thing which I have been putting off doing, partly because I haven't had the equipment, but I will probably... I started doing some research into getting the equipment that I want for it, which you guys have requested. I don't know why you want this, honestly. For those of you who have seen me, you know it's not something you really want. You won't be able to eat during the stream, I'll put you off. Anyhow, a face cam on the streams. Now, the main reason I haven't been doing it is because I could just get a camera and put it on, but most of the cameras have a very narrow field of view, which is where you start getting, like, Quill 18 in his current videos. His top of his head is chopped off. Now, if you're gonna do it, he's green screened, which, to be honest, I've already got almost enough fabric to probably cover the entire wall in green screen. I've already tested green screen setup, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I wanted a very wide angle camera, so that my hands would probably stay in if I was pointing and things like that, and I might be able to reach so far to hit the screen. But then also my mic's in the way. It's going to be a pain to set up, but it's something I want you to do just as a sort of like a thought experiment to get set up. So I'm considering doing it, and I want to know your guys' opinion on it. Now, I know a lot of people, YouTube video-wise, prefer not to have it, whereas it's a bigger thing on Twitch. But I've been considering separating off the streams and the like pre-recorded content onto separate channels. I already actually have a second House Doom 2 created, although because of when I created it, later than the House Doom 1, it doesn't actually have the duty freaking URL, but I guess if I got big enough, they'd give me it. But if I was also to do that, and with at the moment looking like a 4-hour stream is an unlikely thing, and of course I want each stream to be enough content to provide daily content for whatever channel it's going on to. So, what I was thinking is, at the minute they're sort of 20-25 minute episodes, with the idea that I can get 2 in half hour, so the 4-hour stream is 8 episodes, which is just over, give me about a little bit of redundancy to ensure that there's enough content for the week, for the next stream. What I may have to do is go down to 6-hour, which would mean sort of more like 15-20 minute episodes. But I was also thinking maybe I could stretch that out a little bit more if I didn't do the outro and intro. The video still might be shorter, but if I didn't do the outro and intro during the stream, and instead cut and maybe put in post intros and outros, which actually, time-wise, is still a pain for me, but I could probably do that the following... I wouldn't want to do it the following morning, because there might be pre-recorded ones that I put on, or there might be one specific for the episode. I don't know. But yeah, that might be what I have to do. Cut down to a 3-hour stream, and the Let's streams basically are going to have to be on a different format, and I really want your guys' input on what we could do to try and make that still a good episode, because, I could keep cutting the episode shorter and shorter and shorter and make sure I got content out daily. Let's do a 1-minute video and do 20 games at once, but would you guys want that? Or there's the other option and have videos going out bi-daily, once every other day. Have them on the Let's streams, have them longer. And the plan would still be to try and stream once a week. But if I did it sort of like bi-daily, maybe the videos then could be a true half-hour episode each. I would only need to try to get... I currently get 8, but say get 4 episodes. But then that's less content going up on that new channel. What I'm going to do is for... I don't think the update on my shift patterns really needs its own separate topic for discussion. But at least for the stream, I'm going to try and make a section on the forum, and I'll put a link in the description, in the cards, and everything like that. Because I might even stream this video on a loop on twitch.tv, because I know a lot of you are only Twitchers and not YouTubers, and I don't know how many of you watch just for streams or whatnot, and I'd like to get a message out there saying, look, not dead, and it's the only way I know to do it, because I can't send a group message to all my followers. But yeah, so there'll be a section on that, and I'll try and break down the face cam, the episode length, intro and outros, so I can get your guys' opinions. I know I've said this before, but I can work on my own. I've proved that multiple times in work environments and stuff like that. But things work so much smoother, even when you just have someone batting ideas off with you. Even if the suggestions which people make don't get used, the chances are just the discussion on a topic which I might not have even thought of helps out somewhere else. With the House York in Exile. It was all sort of being kept in my head originally, and I was writing it and things like that. And then when I had to ask Mr. Coaster for help because I couldn't figure out how to do something, and the Paradox Forum wasn't being as helpful as it normally is, there's a few things which have been changed in that mod, which aren't even necessarily things which Mr. Coaster suggested, but because we was talking about that or his mod or similar sort of parallel topics, it made me think about how to do that. If that makes any sense whatsoever. But yeah, so just being able to talk to you guys, it helps a lot, which is why sort of when I have these periods of less content, less streaming, that they go on for longer than what they should, because I'm trying to sort it out with just my head. But when I am streaming more, when I have got more content out more, I get to talk to you guys more. Like, the amount of progress that I've made in the Factorio series, just because, yeah, I can get these comments and things like that, it's brilliant. The last thing that I wanted to cover. Oh god, while I was talking then, I had it in my head and I completely freaking forgotten. Forum, we've got the update. Damn it! It's the one that I didn't write down, because it was so easy to remember. Obviously, we're not going to be covering it then. Oh, one quick thing. The XCOM The Long War is probably going to be what we first stream. I know I've got other streams going on which I would like to get back to, but I wanted to get that sorted. I also want to come up with some sort of setup for you guys rating games, not just ones that you want to see, but the ones that you would... like, ones that you think would be better as a Let's Play, ones that you think would be better as a Let's Stream, so I can sort of tailor which ones are up on the stream and which ones are up on the channel. I mean, in some cases, if we go with the format change and have Facecam on the streams, there might be some people who are like, well, I'm not going to watch the stream, but I would rather watch the streamed content because it'll have the Facecam in, or there's like certain Let's Plays where you might want that in, and I want to get some way of getting your guys' input, because that's sort of what this channel thrives off, and the more input I get from you, usually the better I get, and then when I have to take a break, I get less of it, because, yeah, there's less content going out, so you guys aren't here, and things go downhill. I can't think of what that other thing that I wanted to cover was now. I'm going to call that a episode for end of... yeah, screw it. It's going to be the first one of a Doom Count. It's going to have some of the prototype art that I created for it. I think it's just actually a still image at the minute. I haven't got around to it. Yeah, that's another thing. Over the past 2 weeks, I haven't really been able to get and check lots of things. Like, the audio still might be off. I still might be having to fix that. I never got a message back from the makers of the microphone, actually. I asked them about it and just haven't heard anything. Part of the reason I haven't been replying to comments as much is I killed my phone. So I haven't been able to get to my computer due to work and things like that. And then I was trying to keep up with it on my phone, but I dropped it, the screen smashed, and unlike when all my mates' phones screen smash, they can still use it, but it's like, hideous looking. Mine just completely stopped working. I couldn't do anything. In fact, the alarm was going off repeatedly for 2 days because I couldn't even turn the phone off without the touch screen. You push it on the power button, all it came up on the screen was, would you like to power off? Would you like to reset? Would you like to enter this other mode? Like, just shut down. Please, for the love of freaking God, just shut down! We ended up with it just under pillows while the battery died. I'm surprised how long that battery lasted, actually, with the alarm constantly going off. But, yeah, so I haven't been able to get to reply to your comments. I've sat down and done them all today, so they might still be a bit delayed. I'm going to do my best to try and make sure I get at this computer. Because, like, for instance, the House York in Exile, there's 4 or 5 episodes as I'm recording this, which are already recorded and was already uploaded, and I've just forgotten to do the YouTube side of things. Because at the minute, my only reference on, how the videos are going, which ones are, what progress they are through and getting them ready, is on this computer. There's nowhere else. So if I don't get up to the computer, I don't even see what I need to be doing, which, oh no, it's just wrong. I'm very dependent on, not necessarily my phone, but like, I previously had a computer for the TV downstairs. At the minute, that died and it needs replacing, but the substitute I've got doesn't do it. But it used to have on the desktop, so a thing which I could keep track of, when episodes needed to be sorted, how many of them was sat waiting to be rendered, how many of them was sat, uploaded but waiting to be processed on the YouTube side. And it meant that whenever I turned my computer on, that TV on, effectively whenever the TV in the dining room was turned on, not only until BBC changed their site, did it just like launch up and tell you the headlines of the news, which I loved, and the BBC removed it, and I'm freaking annoyed. Like, but you can watch the live news, and I don't want the live news. I want the most current headlines. When I go to just the news channel, I get the stupid film review of a stupid travel show, which isn't news. But, God's sake, I'm going on a rant. This video is a hell of a lot longer than what I expected to. But anyway, as well as that going on the TV, on the second monitor, which was for the TV setup, which was like for quick web browsing and stuff if you didn't want to turn on a full computer, the desktop basically showed me what was going on with the YouTube channel. But yeah, that's gone. And the other option that I had was my phone. It didn't do it as well, but I could get to the Excel file, which I used to manage it. Well, not the Excel, the Google Sheet, which I used to manage it. So it wasn't on the desktop, which is annoying me. I'd love to be able to view the desktop like as a widget. You know, you used to have on the desktop, and you could put like a web page in a widget. There's some things which do it for Windows at the minute, but they don't work as well. But anywho, but also I couldn't find one for Android. But I think I've covered everything. Somewhere in the general discussion on the forum, I'll make sure that there's a link in the description. I'll even create a card in case you're on your phone, because that'll be easier to find on your card. It'll be somewhere. And I'm realising I'm pointing with a mouse for Galciv, which is the music in the background, by the way, but I probably wasn't using the video. Which will take you to it. The forum should be reasonably compatible with phones. It's still on a temporary theme, because my made theme was... It worked. In some ways, it worked a hell of a lot better than the theme which is on at the minute, but in other ways, it just completely broke, so I had to stop that. And I'll try and fix that. God's sake, the list of things to do. The list of things to do was on my phone. I rely on that way too much. I need more redundancy. Yeah, that's going through insurance, by the way. That's why I haven't got it back and, just haven't fixed it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, that's all the time that we have for today. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say goodbye. Oh, no, one last thing. It wasn't previously on the list, but the Dr. Nick Doom channel itself. A few people have asked, and there's like times when I've sort of like gone on a little rant about something during one of these update videos, which really shouldn't have been included. They've asked for something a little bit more in-depth, or a little longer rant, or maybe more of these rants, which there probably would be. And I've generally stayed clear of it because I have tried keeping my non-YouTuber life as separate as I can. I'll let you guys know what's going on, but then I'll avoid using well, maybe not names, because you don't know who they're related to. Or in some cases, actually, I've just completely made up a new name for someone, and they've been watching one of the videos and like, who's this guy? That's not that guy, but I did that. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't want your name on because it was too easy to search and find you on Facebook. But anyway, not necessarily like a full-on like weekly vlog channel, because I know I wouldn't keep that up. But would you guys be interested in if that channel was resurrected as more as a personal channel? If you get my miss, like for instance, at the moment the oh God's sake, sorry about the runny nose. I thought I blew my nose before I started and gone on that long, but anyway, like dealing with the insurance at the minute for my phone just seems a sodding joke. On hold for 2 hours, being told every 45 seconds, you could do this online. Like, I know. I know, but I needed to log into my account, which I only had set up on my phone because I'm an idiot, and I thought that, partly my fault, I thought the process of getting my number was more complicated than it was, that I needed to log on to the internet banking, because when I've previously done it, and I think they've updated the system, I had to go into the bank and get them to send me a letter. So I'm like, yeah, I can't get on it. Just freaking answer the phone. Over 2 hours, 45 seconds, that was like 150 plus times they told me about it, and then when they finally picked up, the first thing the woman said is, sorry for the wait, did you know you could have gone online to do this? And I'm sure there'll be other little things, but yeah, if you wanted stuff like that, I might try and resurrect the Dr. Nick Doom channel as for things like that, but like also when it came to the election, I would have probably put up a little bit of video explaining how the fact that our current Prime Minister is claiming, overwhelming victory. No, you scraped 51% of the seats, which in most of them cases you didn't get even 50% of the people in them seats. So you got maybe 25% of the population, a minimum of 26% of the population there, but oh wait, only 2/3 of the population that can vote did vote, and over half the population in the physical country, or the people who live here, probably don't have the vote because they're either too young or they're, Polish nationals or whatever. So actually, of these 60 million-ish people who live here, I'd be surprised if you got 10, 15 million to vote for you, but that's overwhelming support, so you should get 100% of the power. Yeah, it might be a bit of a varying topic. Politics one day or the next day. Actually, there would be a fair bit of politics. I must admit, there would be a fair bit of politics. Like, at the minute, the Greeks, I would be so tempted to say that they can't deal with the, as far as I can see, that what the European Union is saying, that the terms are reasonably fair. Now, Greece has got the worst of the recession. They did get the worst of it. But that's because they was trying to make the best of the situation beforehand. It was a risk-reward which has failed. Same with Ireland. I would have been harsher on Ireland and Iceland. If I was to go bankrupt, if I had my house and things like that, and I was to go bankrupt, it'd be took off me. Now, I'm not suggesting that we repossess a country and kick everyone out and go, this is our land now. But clearly, there needs to be an equivalent of a country going bankrupt. Like, a lot of these banks, from what I've been told, they're now struggling to even take out 60. You can't take out more than 60 euros at a time because they're running out of money. They need to be either bought out by bigger banks or someone needs to buy them out, try and make them profitable again. I'm not a huge fan of privatizing things, but there probably is some industries, because apparently Greece is very... You guys will have to let me know more on this, because I am coming from a position of ignorance really here. But apparently the Greek sector is very publicized. There's lots of public sector workers, a lot of people working directly for the government. And they've got brilliant pensions and things, which they could afford at the time, but they can't now. It's got to be trying to be balanced. I'm pretty sure... I know the referendum's just been, especially by the time this goes live, I'm pretty sure if they voted not to accept the bailout, they're going to be out of Europe. And although I struggle with the idea of getting rid of a pound, I really, really would love to see a more unified Europe, a more unified world. And I think through the systems like Europe, like the EU, which needs tremendous reform, I will say that, I think it's through things like that which we will eventually become, the one planet. But let's leave it on there. I had a little rant, but we've left on the idea that eventually one day we might all just be able to get along. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'd like to thank you for watching. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say goodbye. Goodbye.